everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. Some adjustments will have to be made by both teams here as the weather has turned nasty and rain will be coming down throughout this game. Let's see who can manage the wet conditions better. It's the Jets going up against the Raiders. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Larry, thank you very much. A steady shower falling right now, and that's going to be the norm throughout this one. We are told rain all over the radar here in Oakland. A short time ago, the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year for 2016, Khalil Mack, getting the folks in silver and black in full roar as his guys get set to match up with the New York Jets. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play. They come in off a good win on the road, and now they hit the home opener at 1-0. Meanwhile, for the visiting Jets, they come into this one after a loss in the opener, and they're in for another tough test here.
And what a battle for an organization to look at your schedule and see two road games.
The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They're led out by their quarterback, who's in his 16th season now in the league, way back when he played at Sam Houston State, Josh McCown.
And the numbers were not pretty. I mean, they don't look right. When you throw 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, there's no way to really make that work. But I thought there were a lot of positives in watching his game tape. I think he's close to putting out a good performance. Let's see if he can flip those numbers around in this game. And, of course, rally his team to a win.
And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. The offensive starters now for the Jets.
The struggles of the New York Jets offense in 2016 were well documented. They struggled to run it, struggled to throw it. A lot of that because of inconsistent quarterback play. A big reason why they ended up 26 overall in offense in the NFL and went from 10-6 in 2015 to 5-11 in 2016.
On second down, Forte. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And the numbers on the ground for Matt Forte last week. 13 carries, 66 yards.
And that explosive run right there reminds me that last week ran the ball really well. So they're continuing to do what they did in the previous game, run the ball and run it successfully. Expect that to continue throughout this one.
On first down, this is Forte. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down. Quickly now, the starting 11 for the Oakland defense.
Well, sometimes the numbers really don't tell the full picture because Oakland was 26th in total defense in 2016. But guess what? They were tied for first in turnover margin at plus 16 with Kansas City. That makes up for a lot of other issues when you're able to take the ball away.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And very little day. Throwing is McCown on third down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
On is the second-year man from Sam Houston State, Lachlan Edwards, to punt it away. Back deep for the Raiders, Jalen Richard. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. It's a 46-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. So the Raiders backed up here to begin their first drive. Derek Carr, he'll be the one leading the troops. Pro Bowl quarterback in his 4th year now out of Fresno State.
And I remember when he was a prospect coming out of college and people were wondering about different parts of his game. What all came together nicely in 2016. Had the Raiders at 11-3, had them thinking Super Bowl before an injury finished his season. They're counting on him to take them to new heights.
And he finds enough of an opening to get this one back up to his 20. The numbers for Marshawn a week ago. 24 carries, 117 yards.
Well, they set a nice tone in week 1. He's among the leading rushers in the league. I think that they continue to feed him the football and continue to establish the running game so they can get the play action and throw the ball deep later on.
They'll run again with Lynch. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Yeah, the offensive starters here for the Raiders.
One of the things I like to do when I'm scouting players is talk to those who knew him before. And I ended up finding out that Amari Cooper has been like a professional route runner since the time he was 6 or 7 years old. Has always taken the game seriously, has always worked on his craft, and you see evidence of that each and every week on an NFL field. Couple that with his athletic ability, that's one big reason he's finding himself open in the NFL.
Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
6-year man Marquette King on to punt. Back deep to return it is Lucky Whitehead. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. New York set to take the field. The last couple of drives have ended in punts. Maybe the crowd minds that, but you're a defensive guy. You're okay with a couple of punt drives.
Listen, I'm the guy that loves a 0-0 pitch game. All right, in baseball, I can handle that going into the 7th inning. I think the crowd, though, they want to see a little bit more excitement. Let's see if someone can break something free on offense and get going.
Offense at a premium the last 2 drives. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Again, they run. Again, it's Forte. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Forte gets the handoff from McCown. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
Now they'll throw with McCown. Over the middle to Smith. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up 1st downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
This team doesn't mind running the ball in any situation, and I thought he was going to get the 1st down the way the play developed, but the defense closed in and stopped him just about a yard short.
Here's Lachlan Edwards now. On for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his 1st. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. And now here come the Raiders. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Give them a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
That throw has to be a quarterback's dream, doesn't it? Big tight end, curling in the middle of the field, so it's great sight lines for him. And when they show their numbers back to the quarterback, when they sit down right there, that should be pitch and catch. No surprise watching Marshawn Lynch scatter bodies as he runs, but I remember doing games of his at Cal, and I remember the moves, the jump cuts, the elusiveness, as well as the strength.
Again, they'll pound it with Lynch. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. How will Marshawn Lynch fare? That's the question in the Bay Area. Been out of the game for a year. What do you think?
I think he'll fare just fine. I don't think that they'll use him as often as he was used in Seattle. But when they turn him loose, I think it'll be to great advantage for Oakland.
First down, the run with Lynch. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
So much for having too many defensive linemen. Remember the reaction when the Jets took Leonard Williams? They said they've got too many. Guy's a Pro Bowler in his second season.
Yeah, 7 sacks in that sophomore campaign last year. Now they'll throw with Carr. And Roberts with it over the middle. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. And the defense for New York.
This defense is well respected around the league, and in 2015, they were ranked 4th overall in total defense. You move ahead to what they did last year, it looks pretty good on paper. 11th overall, just outside the top 10. But that collection of talent didn't pay off in the wins column. The team went 5-11, and they're looking to get all these pieces together and put this talent back on display.
To throw, it's Carr. Open man, there is Patterson, complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Carr gives to Lynch on the draw. Even with the good footwork, he'll be stopped just inside the 35. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. So on 4th down, off goes Carr, and on is Sebastian Janikowski. They'll put it down right at the 40, so call this a 50-yard attempt. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot, and this will remain a scoreless game.
I tell you, it's not easy kicking field goals in the best of conditions. You add in a downpour like we're in right now, it makes it that much harder. And sure enough, they can't convert here.
A reminder, coming up tonight, Green Bay visits Atlanta. All sorts of storylines there. A playoff rematch, also the opening of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And then on Monday night, the Giants host the Lions.
So the Giants play on Sunday night and Monday night to open the season.
Yeah, 2 under the lights.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Now a play fake here on first down. Got his man, Robbie Anderson. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 17 yards for the Jets there as they've got themselves a first down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
A give. This is Forte. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
They stay on the ground. Forte again. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
On the counter, Forte. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Well, at least he was able to break that initial contact, or it could have been a loss.
Yeah, give credit to the defensive player, though. What did he do? Made him slow down, slow up his feet, and allowed the rest of the guys to get there to finish him off.
McCown to throw on second down. And out of bounds just shy of the end zone at the 1. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Great footwork there, Charles, to dot the I, stay in bounds, get both feet in. He's probably thinking, though, man, I made a catch. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Jets. Matt Forte, his second touchdown on the season. And the Jets are able to strike for 6. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. They'll start on the ground with Lynch, and he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Give them a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
A 10th carry of the game for Marshawn Lynch. And he takes it across midfield to the 45. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
On 2nd down, Lynch. And he's brought down. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed, and he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
They go play action here on first down. And Cook has it left side. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Carr. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. A nice move he had, but can't break away. And he's brought down just inside the 30. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be 3rd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
To throw on 3rd down, Carr. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So 2 missed field goals for him now, and that's helped keep them with a big 0 on the scoreboard.
Well, it's not the only reason they have a 0. The offense has been bogged down a few times now, but it's certainly not helping the cause any at all.
And the Jets set to take the field. They try the 50-yarder and miss it, and now this offense has it 1st and 10 at the 40. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
McCown throwing on 2nd, and the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right.
Here we go now.
From the gun on 3rd, McCown. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down.
Forte pretty much neck and neck with Darren Sproles for most receptions by a running back.
Yeah, both guys just over 500 into the year. Throwing on first is McCown. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on it at second down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's third down. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on third down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Shotgun here for McCown. And incomplete here on third down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case,
oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And the Raiders are in for 6. Touchdown. We talk about it a lot. One of the dangers of the long field goal, you got to kind of hit it low and drive it. That makes it susceptible to a block here. Not only do they block it, they return it.
And how about how well they did on the return where they didn't create a penalty? Oftentimes in that type of a scrambling situation, someone will clip, someone will block below the waist, right? You name it. In this case, though, that didn't happen. They formed it up, and he took it all the way back for a touchdown.
It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And now out come the Jets. They fake the give to Forte. Now McCown. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We'll come back to Oakland after this. In just 2 minutes' time, don't forget we'll get you to Orlando for our halftime report. To bring it to you, who else but Larry Ridley?
Now that man knows his football. Go get him, Larry.
On second down, here's McCown. That's complete over the middle to Stewart. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
On first down, McCown looking middle, and it's incomplete. Robbie Anderson, the man he was looking for, and it's 2nd down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. McCown will try again on 2nd down. Drops it underneath to Forte. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. It'll be a gain of 9, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1. McCown going to throw. A dump off to Forte. And he's brought down, but following a pretty juke move that gives him the first down. The Jet passing game in rhythm. They've got another first. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. McCown now on first down. Caught. Safarian Jenkins, right side. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
The intended target, the tight end, Austin Safarian Jenkins. And it's 3rd and short.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
The Jets on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll try and get it with Forte. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So this time the protection holds up for him just fine, and he's able to bang it through.
I think their special teams coach got the point across. He gave him a pretty good earful after the block earlier. And this time, there's no penetration, so they're able to pick up 3.
Now after the made field goal, Catanzaro to boot this one away on the kickoff. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Marshawn Lynch heading back out into the huddle. And the ground game's been good, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Can they use that ground game maybe to work the air attack a little bit more?
I think so, because now you can throw play action off of being able to run the ball effectively. And oftentimes you might want to just swing your back out of the backfield, get the ball in his hands in open space, and just don't get totally away from running it, because some of these runs now, they may pop bigger as the game goes along.
Yeah, they've been good with a run so far. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. Now Carr throwing on second down. And an alley to run. And he slides to avoid the hit. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. First down now, but the clock continues to move. On first down, Carr. That'll be incomplete as the clock will stop with 14 seconds remaining. He was trying to get it to Michael Crabtree there. And now it's second down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but
the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down. The final shot here before half for Carr. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. A surprising move to go for it, and predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Jets are going to get the football here in great field position. And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good. Off to the right. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we send you across the country to Orlando, standing by there, Larry Ridley with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon. And welcome to the EA Halftime Report. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Raiders trail at home at halftime. The Jets have looked good on the road and will just try to keep the ball rolling in the second half. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Jets opening the game on offense. Matt's going to take down the QB here. This one ends up as a loss of 6. Jets ball early in the second. Forte's going to look for a gap, and he caps off the 6-play drive for the score as they get out to a 7-0 lead. Final moments of the first half. Richardson's going to push his way to the QB here. This one ends up as a loss of 6. So that'll do it for us. Let's get back out to Oakland now as we turn it back over to Brandon Gott.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. They'll keep pounding here with Lynch. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup. And now they've got a 3rd down and 8.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. That'll be good for 6, but now it's 4th down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
On is the punter King to send it away. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Jets offense will be backed up to start this drive as they've got it 1st and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Bruce Irvin leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They'll give it up to Forte. And he's going to be taken down here at about the 10. Give him 3 yards on the run. Now they'll need to draw up something good here on 3rd and 13.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. And he's got a noon one. And he gets this one up just shy of the 35 to the 34. That one goes for 24 yards. Anunwa was the Jets' second leading receiver last year, had 58 catches, only one behind Brandon Marshall, who, of course, with the Giants now.
A breakout season for him, a big-bodied guy. Many thought that he's more restricted to moving the chains. Had an ability to get downfield and make big catches as well.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
Really good, skillful, tough running throughout this contest. Picked up first down after first down. He's got to have a nickname, doesn't he? How about the human first down machine? I think that fits.
Off the play fake to Forte, McCown. He's going to sling this deep down, and he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Sean Smith. Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning. Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
Carr gives to Marshawn. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On the give, this is Lynch. And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4.
On a second and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on third down.
And that is incomplete.
Credit the secondary and credit the defensive game plan. They've been in his hip pocket all game long. They understood coming in that he was a big-time receiver.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. Here's the Jet offense now. They head out to take over. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. Working from the gun, McCown. Over the middle to Smith. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. They'll run it now out of the gun. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. play fake. McCown. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. Khalil Mack in there to get him. And that's sack number 6 for him on the year. He is proving his worth defensively. Getting the sack here, that comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
Now McCown. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
On 3rd and long, it's McCown. And he finds Safarian Jenkins. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Now McCown. It's caught on the right side at Smith. And that little deke, the juke move that we saw, able to give him the 1st down yardage before he's brought down. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. And they're on 3rd and short. They just tried to spread the field. It worked.
And I think that the spreading of the field, the extra receivers, has really become the next in the evolutionary chain in the NFL. Go all the way back in that situation, you're handed to the fullback, right? As we evolve, maybe you pitched it to your tailback. Now you spread the field, and you have your choices of where to throw it and complete it for a 1st down.
Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10.
And that's one of the few times they've been able to contain him. He's had a heck of a game, and maybe he's getting a little bit tired from how many times he's carried the ball. But I always think back to what all those old coaches say. The ball's not that heavy. Keep carrying it, kid.
And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. Mario Edwards able to drop him for a loss of 2, and that'll bring up 4th down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So on 4th down, out comes the field goal unit for Todd Bowles. And remember, he had one blocked earlier. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. And the lead stretches to 6 here. It's 13-7. So a good kick that time, and that might help to get the negative thoughts out of the mind from that earlier block.
Especially since this was not a chippy, so he had to get that one out kind of low. But his line does a nice job of protecting, and he's able to convert for 3.
And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end. You got 4. 694.
They start the drive with Lynch. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in the East Bay. It's Raider football here, but they're on the short side of the scoreboard right now as we begin the fourth. Carr to throw on second down. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that's going to bring up a third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
They'll run it. Here's Lynch. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. Give him 12 yards that time and an Oakland first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Roberts with it over the middle. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Offense staying ahead of the chains here, 2nd and 3.
Check 4.
Shotgun now for Carr. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. A Raider first down as Carr finds Cooper.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
Tight, watch left. Tight, watch left. Yes, sir. You got 3 down.
From the gun, it's Carr. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it'll make it 2nd down. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
Carr going to throw. Finds Roberts left side. And he gets it down to the 32. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Carr going to try and throw on 3rd down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Leonard Williams in there to drop him for a 4-yard loss, and it'll be 4th down. That's something you see a whole lot of, a sack of Derek Carr, and due in large part to a good O-line. Carr was sacked on less than 3% of his dropbacks last year, lowest in the league.
Oakland knew it was important to take care of their quarterback. They picked up Donald Penn, Kelechi Osemele, and Rodney Hudson in recent years, and it's paid off.
So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
And the 8th play on this drive coming up.
Single. Check 44, check.
Throwing on first down is Carr. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Leonard Williams in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
They're in the 4th quarter in Denver. Now the Cowboys have taken the lead in a very offensive-minded game. Dak Prescott, 2 touchdown passes thus far. On 2nd down, here's Carr. And he'll hit the slant route. That's caught by Cooper. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
The Raiders on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12. Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. Oh, he can't hang on to it. Almost intercepted. They would have loved a first pick of the game there, but at least it does get them to 4th down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
All right, so this one's now back within a field goal. And if anybody tells you they see how this one's going to end, I'd have to say they're probably lying, Charles.
And this game's had more twists and turns than a good mystery novel. And I have a feeling we've got a few more twists and turns in store for us before they shake hands here.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Matt Forte as he gets set to go and heads back out there. He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's come together for you. The big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. You've probably gotten some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Back to the ground on first, it's Forte. Oh, and now he bowls him over. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Nice job there on the tackle. Keep him to the short gain. And, of course, he got some good news this week. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's effort.
And part of the reason he got that award, because of plays like that. Not every play is spectacular. Not every play is for a loss. Make the plays that are in front of you, keep it to short gains, and you pile up statistics.
And some nifty running there. Ultimately, it doesn't get him a whole lot, but it does take him to the 45. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Third and 1. McCown wants to throw. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he gets this one across midfield for the first down to the 46. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Now a play fake here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line. Whether it's slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown, out of his reach, and incomplete. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he's on to punt for New York. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. This one will sail out of bounds. It'll depend on the spot here. And the side judge says that went out at the 7-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. A gain of 6 there on first. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Handoff comes to Lynch. Only able to make it to the 15 after the broken tackle. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
And he'll have the 1st down as he's up to about the 18. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. On the handoff, Lynch. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Carr signaling to his guys, let's go here. Back to throw. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. 1st down now, but the clock continues to move. He'll look to throw. They find some open field here. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll make this a 2nd down. Back to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Cook. And a nice gain of 21 yards. 1st down now, but the clock continues to move. They'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
And that one, oh, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to come up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw, and it'll wind up being intercepted.
New York set to take the field. They have the 3-point lead. Defense did their job. Now, late game. Although it looks good, you know the coaches, they haven't counted this as a victory yet.
I agree with you totally. Big applause for the defense, but no one is taking their headset off on the sidelines. They don't believe this game is over. The offense has to close this one out by taking care of the football.
They'll try to close it out now. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
Double tight. All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
This is Forte. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Now a run with Forte. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here's Lachlan Edwards now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Derek Carr getting ready to go again on offense. Certainly they want to win this game, but down 3, they know what they need to do. Get in field goal range, at least have a chance to tie it.
And if you approach it the right way, you almost have a safety net. Knowing just a field goal gets it done. You don't press for the touchdown, but you take it if the opportunity comes. If the opening's there, someone slips in the secondary and you get a big play. But otherwise, get the 3, put that on the board, and try to extend the game.
They'll be trying to muster 3. Of course, they'd love the score to win it. He's back to throw. They dump it off to Lynch. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. And he'll spike it with exactly 30 seconds now left on the clock. Now Carr. Over the middle, complete. It's Roberts. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Back to throw. Carr. Open man there is Patterson, complete. And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Carr fighting Patterson there for a Raider first. And he did exactly what they needed him to do, Charles. Got out of bounds. They have no timeouts.
And they knew that before the play even began. Still executed it. How many times have we seen it happen where you know it, yet a guy still looking for a timeout or trying to stay in bounds? He got it done.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is no good. And just barely missing it wide to the right. Well, they got themselves in position to at least entertain the thoughts of an overtime, but as it turns out, it was not meant to be, Charles.
And you feel bad for a kicker in this spot. He's going to have to shoulder a lot of the blame, but in reality, this will be a team loss. They didn't do enough collectively to get the job done.
The Jets, with victory seemingly in hand, they take the knee. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys
I'm a little
skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.
Golly, wise beyond his years. So for the Jets, they did what they needed to do. They split their first two road games of the year, and they'll return home next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they will fall to 1-1, and they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Washington. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. From Oakland, we sign off. So long, everybody.